Hi, I'm Peter.
And I'm Kemya.
Welcome to the This and That Chat.
My microphone is correct.
You sure?
It's facing me. Like you told me to put it.
There you go. I got a joke for you.
Okay.
I know you love my dad jokes.
Okay. Wow. So, can I say something beforehand?
Okay,
Can
go.
I say something beforehand?
Yes.
Before we started, I said, "Let me start today." And you said, "No." You said I was going to start with a dad joke. Okay? What I meant was I wanted to say my name first. And then you second. And I was going to say, "Welcome to the This and That Chat." That's what I meant. Okay? But you didn't understand that. You thought the intro bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which blew my mind that you said, "I want to start with a dad joke," because I was literally, my first words to you were going to be, "Tell me your latest dad joke." and you thought about it without me saying anything. What is that called?
Telekinesis. Telekinesis. Isn't it kinesis?
And what did I say? That's what I said.
No, you said telekinesis.
Oh, I'm just giving it a little flair. Kinesis. Kinesis? What did you say it is?
Telekinesis.
No, that doesn't sound right at all.
Telekinesis. Anyways, my dad joke. You ready?
In a minute.
What are you going to do? Look it up so you can get the answer?
No. I never do that. Hold on. We're going to find out right now.
What? The telekinesis? Telekinesis.
What did I say?
Telekinesis.
I think that's the same thing.
Telekinesis. Nieces. You said nieces. Telekinesis.
Okay. Telekinesis. Wait.
Telekinesis.
Telekinesis. The more you say a word, you start stumbling over it.
Yeah.
Okay, go with your dad joke.
Okay.
Wait, can we warn people? Please don't judge me, people of
She
the
doesn't
podcast
laugh
world.
at anything.
I don't, because I don't get it. Jokes go over my head always.
Well,
if I laugh at your joke, you scored big.
Okay,
you
well,
won the lottery.
This one's not that bad.
Okay.
Okay.
Which makes it worse for me, really.
So a construction worker fell off of a 100-foot ladder and he didn't die. How is that possible?
Because he fell off of it, but he didn't fall all the way down. Maybe he fell a couple numbers down.
He fell off of the last step.
He fell off the last step.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
The bottom step?
Oh,
like
the bottom
yeah.
step. Hey, I was kind of close.
It's horrible. Laugh at one of my jokes.
I really laughed.
I have really like
embraced
the dad joke side of me. Or the dad.
Yeah, being dad.
Mm-hmm. I'm not doing the shorts though.
Who does the shorts?
That's
That's not
seen?
A thing at all.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you
that
do.
was like
you
an
gotta
80s thing, I think,
No,
and it
no.
was bike shorts that men would wear.
No, listen, it's the biker shorts, the little biker.
Yeah.
Not like tight ones, just
No.
like above the knee. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. So above the knee shorts with
above the thigh.
No.
I've seen those shorts.
Yes, I know those exist. I'm talking. I just yawned like in the middle of me talking.
Those are the best.
Above the knee shorts. Mm-hmm. And then you have to have completely white shoes with white socks.
What are you talking about?
That's like the dad. Okay. So there's the.
Are you talking about a Sears catalog? Have you seen the Sears catalog?
No, there's
Does the
like
Sears catalog even exist anymore?
Sears doesn't exist anymore.
I don't think so. I mean, I think there might be one store open. No,
Like
I
the-
think they went under.
Yeah, they did.
They did go under.
So okay, so the typical like the dad joke dad, right? It's completely white shoes, white socks. They can have stripes at the top.
I, yawning again, are we?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. That one took tears out of my eyes. I yawned so hard.
Oh my gosh. And you
Okay.
know they say they're contagious.
Yeah,
This
it's
is going to
bad.
be a
This is
yawn of an episode.
So white shoes, right?
White socks, stripes. Got it.
Completely white shoes,
Got it.
no color. Then you've got white socks, and they can have stripes at the top. like
Yes.
2 stripes, no 3 stripes because
Yes.
it's already too much. Then your shorts are above your knee
Yeah.
with a belt
Yeah.
and a white polo, or not a white polo, a polo shirt, right? And then you've got to have the dad glasses on, like the sunglasses, and you can do a hat. And that's
Okay,
like
this
that's
is
your
definitely a magazine stereotype. And mind you, another yawn. Here we go. Wow. I'm going to count them. There's 3 so
that's
far.
3 so far.
Okay. Because I'm thinking of all the dads that I know, and I have never seen any of those dads dressed like that. So you are stuck in some sort of like advertisement from the maybe early
No,
90s.
but what I'm
the
saying
80s.
is no. That's the way that they make fun of them.
Oh, the way they make fun of them. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I agree with you on that. I have. It's been years since I've seen something like that. This is number 4.
Why am I yawning so much? Look, I got one
No,
for
it's
you.
catching. No, it's catching.
One
Okay,
for
let's
you,
not
one for
do
you.
this. But but yeah. So this week, my sister and brother-in-law came to visit from South Carolina, and they had my little baby niece with them,
Yes.
which is just
Little Olive.
little Olive. She's so like there are no words. There really are no words. I feel like someone bottled a piece, like a part of sunshine, and that's what she is.
Well, this was the first time I got to meet her,
Yes, that's true.
and she's gonna be a year old next week.
No, next month. I mean, yeah, well, it's the 27th still.
So in a
Too
few
much
weeks.
information.
What do you mean too much information?
Oh, I don't know. I just felt like I was giving too much information about her out there. But anyway, yes, her birthday's coming up, her first birthday. And it my sister asked me, imagine if you had a baby right now. And I did. For a second, my mind explored all of those things. I've explored that many, many times, because I think we mentioned this in one of the episodes before. A lot of our friends, and people we know, right, are our age, and either they're getting ready to start a family. Is this number 7 for you?
Like 7. I don't know what's going on.
Wow.
It's like one after another. I can't control
Wow.
it. I'm
This is a dad joke in itself. Like, you are the joke today.
I have tears coming out of my eyes from how like deep these yawns are. And I slept good.
Yawning doesn't have to be because you're tired, though.
I don't know.
Sometimes you have like a spirit you have to expel.
That's a big one. Oh my goodness. That's bad.
But anyway, back to my
This
story.
can't-
Listen,
this
it's like
can't
you're
be-
the distracted one
Okay,
today.
hold on. This can't be good for
For viewership?
well, there's no it would see, it would be good for viewership.
No,
'Cause it
I
would
actually
be.
think you made a point right now. This would not be good for viewership. Hence, the universe has spoken.
No, it
and
would be
said,
hilarious.
No recording.
I would be laughing at it. I'd be like, look at this fool here trying to do a YouTube live, and he's like yawning his face off while he's talking about.
And I mean, now, see, you're causing me to deviate, and I was very focused. But I was going to say that in many, I think people hold different opinions about what a yawn in the middle of a conversation means.
Okay.
Some people, I think, can give it to you and say, "Oh, you're probably tired." Okay? Cuz normally people only yawn
Mm-hmm.
when they're tired, right? Even though I've yawned
What
at
is a
different
yawn?
times.
What is the? Do you know what it is?
Yeah,
The
I
medical-
just said it's expelling of a spirit.
No, the medical.
Listen.
What is a
Oh
yawn?
my gosh. Who is the road runner today?
Me. A yawn is an involuntary reflex where the mouth is opened wide and the lungs take in a lot of air.
You are not reading this for real.
I'm dead serious.
Okay.
It says the air is then exhaled slowly. During this time, the eardrums stretch and the eyes. hold on. Let me say. And the eyes may also close tight, causing them to water.
So your eardrums are stretching. That's what I'm going to say from now on.
No more yawning.
Nope.
My eardrums are stretching.
Okay, again, I'm going on another little trail over here. Nikki, a while back in her science class, folks, it's happening again, told me that there is a little ear in the cochlea, okay? That's like the shell-shaped part inside your inner ear, right? She said that most people only have one hair inside the cochlea, right? Some people may have two, but that's very rare. And she said that any time that you hear the high-pitched sound that nobody else can hear, but you hear it, or it sounds like your hearing kind of gets like dimmed in one ear. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she said that that's because your hair is vibrating. Ever since she told me that, when that happens to me and I'm around her, I'll be like, oh, my hair's vibrating. And she rolls her eyes at me. She's like, Mom, you've overused it too much. But I just think it's so hilarious. So now the eardrums are stretching. That's what you're doing. But
Okay.
so some people can take it as an offensive thing that you are yawning in the middle of their conversation, because then that means they must be boring you. Okay? So how do you feel when you see someone yawn? Because I feel like if I see multiple yawns from a person while I'm speaking to them, I kind of become very aware that they're very tired and they're probably not listening to me.
Well, for me, a yawn is scary sometimes, because I can yawn. There's one for you.
Talking about yawning makes the person yawn. I wonder how many of our listeners are yawning.
How many of our listeners are yawning?
And some of them are driving to work.
Yeah.
It's a terrible
was I
way to
saying?
start your day.
What was I saying?
You said it's scary for you.
Oh yeah. Okay. So there's times when I've yawned so hard, like a deep yawn, where I hurt my jaw.
You should be careful with
Like
that.
it hurts. Like I'm gonna
Okay.
like dislocate my face.
Okay. Good Lord. Literally, I don't even know why you put it out like that. Okay. But there's a mutual person that we both know who told a story about he was at a function with his wife. Okay. And he had a really big yawn. And all of a sudden he heard a pop and his mouth didn't close anymore. And his jaw became unhinged. And he just had like hanging jaw, right? And he had to be taken by the security of wherever they were at to transport him to the hospital because he couldn't close his mouth. So he said that he like passed people on his way to the elevator. He was just drooling out the side of his mouth. He couldn't speak. He's trying to tell his wife, like, you know, I'm going to the hospital, you know. All I can think
I guess
about
you
is
can't
the
even-
mummy.
You can't. Yeah, you can't even do that.
No,
'cause
you can't.
You're just
Yes. Okay, that's scary.
Yeah.
And he said it was very painful.
I would
And once it
imagine.
happens, you are at a risk of it happening again. So, anyway, how do you feel when people yawn while you're talking to them?
I just join them. I'm serious. I yawns are so contagious for me.
Yeah.
I see someone yawn and I'm gonna yawn.
Well, I just in one time only it happened to me that I did a yawn, right? And it was right about that afternoon like time when you know you either need to grab coffee or you need a little nap. There's like a little down. What is it called? Like you've like lost energy somewhere in the afternoon, right? There's a term for that actually. They use it in the office. Not the show, but just around the office. But anyway, it was around that time I did a small stifled yawn. Okay. And the person that I was talking to was like, "What, am I boring you?" And I laughed, like, haha, very funny. No laughter at all on their side. And I was like, oh,
A good
yikes.
response would have been like, "Yeah, you're really boring."
But you can't say those things.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what we were talking about. But, so, all of your dad joke got completely ruined by all of this yawning.
Yes, it did.
But, oh, no, we were talking
Wait,
about my sister.
hold on.
Having a baby.
How did it get ruined by my
No.
yawn?
It was my bad.
It
My
got
bad.
it got ruined by your non-laughter.
Listen. Listen, even if it wasn't a dad joke. I find it hard to laugh at stuff like that because
Can we
I
share?
find a lot of holes in what you're saying, or I just have a lot of questions. It doesn't make sense. Whoa. That's the sign. People just heard that live on the chat. That's what happened that day
Yes.
when we were buying our cups. Oops.
What I do, okay, just to defend my dad jokes because it's
No, I like that you have dad jokes.
and the kids like my dad jokes.
Yes, that's the amazing
Nikki
part.
Nikki laughs at my dad jokes.
Yes.
And so does Michael.
Yes.
So
Yes, but you know what? I think it's endearing because did we talk about this or not? That my dad, well, I think we talked about this on the Father's Day episode, that my dad, you know, he's going to tell a joke when he's like, so have you heard about the moment he says, have you heard about? I know it's a joke coming.
well, I even got you to send one because you sent one to the group the other day.
Yeah, but that wasn't my joke.
It doesn't matter. You still put it out there.
Yeah, but that's moms don't have jokes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say it as my dad joke then.
Oh dear.
What do you call it when Batman skips church?
What?
It's a Christian Bale.
And I listen. It was a good one.
It was a good one.
It was a good one, but I took it from somewhere.
Doesn't matter.
So
You think I'm making up my dad jokes?
actually, I did.
No.
I would totally understand if you were making these things up.
No, I search for them and I look for good ones.
Well, disclaimer: my dad makes up his dad jokes.
Yes, I know. Those are pappy jokes.
Those are pappy jokes, and he is one of a kind to come up with stuff. He comes up with stuff, and you are left pondering how his mind works. But then I realize I am like that too. So, you know what? It was so wonderful today to have a conversation with someone who was talking the same way that I do, jumping from subject to subject. And then they apologized to me because there was no context for what the other thing that they talked about. And I was like, what? It perfectly made sense to me because my brain was moving that way too. That's wonderful when you talk to somebody like that. Or like when my sister came over.
Kindled spirits.
Yes, kindred spirits.
Kindred. Isn't it kindled?
Did you say kindled?
Is it
As
kindred?
in fire
I don't
and
know.
wood?
I don't know.
Kindred.
Kindred spirits.
Yes.
Okay, so going back to your sister and Olive.
Okay, so she said, but I was saying something about her. I wish you would have been here when she was here for dinner because she had a mountain of napkins next to her.
I saw the mountain.
And I looked at it and you thought it was me.
I thought it was you.
You thought it was me. And I looked over and I was like, oh, my soulmate. She was like, you too? So wonderful. I love when I'm not alone and stuff. So
That's another nickname you have. We didn't talk about
we
that.
talked about that already.
Not the napkin thief.
Didn't we do that already?
No.
Didn't we talk about headstones?
Kept me at, yeah, no.
We didn't? We
No.
haven't talked about death yet?
This she finds funny. Like, I'm over here giving quality dad jokes, and she finds the word, we didn't talk about death yet, hilarious.
No, you want to know what it is that I find hilarious?
What?
Is that I talk to you sometimes straight-faced, and you are just following along with me, and then I drop it on you, and you're like, what? No. And then it's like you get it. I love the fact that you go along these journeys with me, and you
I
never
have
know if
to.
it's going to be a surprise
But-
or if it's serious.
But I spoke about this in a previous episode, where I have to allow you to go through whatever it is you're saying, because maybe somewhere down in that line I'll figure it out. If not, it just becomes a yes, dear. And that's I go on with my life.
If anything, I think I'm
wondering.
keeping your brain young.
No, you're making me older.
No, think about it. Your brain has to be sharp, following, analyzing. Where's she going with this? What does she mean?
My brain is going to quit on me saying, "What are you putting me through?"
I quit.
I quit.
Oh my goodness. So
Okay,
she
so-
said, imagine you had a baby right now. And I thought, wow, because both of us, we said, we're in our 40th birthday this year. And a lot of the people we know are starting families right now. For us, that sounds like, wow, baby now? But it's because we've already done that. And for other people, they're just getting ready to get started, right? For them, they're not thinking it's like they're old or it's late in life. That's not at all, because they've been living their life, it's the next big thing for them.
Right.
They are not seeing it through those lens. But for us, it's like, I told her, wow, so I was sitting on the floor with Olive. She's like crawling on top of me, playing, dancing, and I just get to like snuggle her and kiss her and chase her around the couch and, whatever she wants. Here I'm to give it to her, right? And I was thinking, no, this is like what I feel our next big thing is. For some people, their next big thing is, yeah, we're going to be parents, right? But for me, I feel like our next big thing is we're going to be grandparents whenever that happens. That's like the next big thing that's coming up for us involving kids. Right now, I could not possibly see myself starting over, because we did the time already.
Mm-hmm.
We've done the time. And it's not like you ever stop being a parent, because if anything, I feel like parenting is different. It's definitely different now, but in some ways I feel like you're more worried and more,
It's a different level.
yeah, it's just I
Like,
don't,
you worry about your kids, but about
but
different
on a different
things.
about different things. Yeah.
I was talking to a friend this morning, and he was telling me about because his daughter lives like far away. It's like a 4-hour airplane ride to where between the two of them. So it's a long distance, and he was talking to me about how he's
a 4-hour plane
plane
ride.
ride. We have a
Wow.
4-hour drive
to our son.
from our son,
Right.
and this is a 4-hour plane ride.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's just a level of worry that's there, because hey, something happens. It's not just get in the car and drive, because we can, if we wanted to, we can be where my son is at, or where Mike is at. We can be there in 3.5 hours, like if we book it, right?
He meant our son, just as an FYI. I
know,
heard
said
my
it.
son and
I
I
know.
got super possessive.
I know. Well, okay, hold on. I'm gonna deviate just a little bit and come right back.
Okay.
Okay, so
Isn't deviating fun?
yes, it's a rabbit trail episode.
Yes.
Okay, so the other day we were talking about when the hookups. So in the episode of the hookups, because I always try and go back and listen to the episodes, just so that to learn from them and kind of see, where we maybe didn't go back, and just so that
Yeah, what we missed or
that way
whatever.
episodes can get better and better, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I for some reason I wanted to go back and listen to that one, so I listened to it, and in that conversation that we had, that I didn't catch it until I heard it this last time, this week that just passed. We talked about like our money, as if our money was like separate. Like if you had your own bank account and I had my own bank account, and you had
Really?
yeah. So when we were at Red Lobster,
Yeah.
right? I was like, thank God that kept me had money on her credit card to be able to pay for it, because I told her that I didn't have that money in my bank account.
Oh.
So I was like,
But you and I know, but other people don't
right.
know. Oh.
So I was listening to that, and I was like, people are gonna think that we have.
Well, but that's not unusual,
It's
though.
not unusual.
It's a choice that every couple
I know, but
makes.
for me, I was like,
You wanted to clarify
I was like, our money is
the
not
record.
together, whatever. Anyways, but you just said that, and so yes, our son Mike is only 4 hours away.
Our bank account.
Yeah. Anyways, so
Yeah,
but
different level
he
of
was
concern.
saying that I think it's her second year of college. Second, or she's starting her third year of college or
I
something
would
like
say
that.
she's starting her third year because she went up there before the pandemic.
Right.
So she
And-
was up there in 2019.
Yeah. So he's saying that there's a different level of worry, because you never stop being a parent, and even though she's that far away, there's still that desire to be dad,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, I'm just thinking about and I say worry, and I feel like worry is a strong word, but, because to me, when I think of worry, I think of someone who's like pacing nervously, watching the phone, wringing their hands. That's what I picture when I think worried, right? Stressing over something. That's not what it is at all. There's just... and again, like I don't know if a dad's mind works the same way than a mother's mind, but like I feel like because they were home so many years, right? There were so many things that I placed it upon myself, we'll say, right? To make sure that whatever they needed done, I would help them get it done, right? And let me explain that, because it's not like I was doing things for them. But for example, if I knew that Mike had to renew his tag for his car, right? It's like I have an internal clock in me that is telling me, remind him that time's coming up, right? Even though it's not my tag to renew, I would be on top of stuff like that. Hey, don't forget that. Mike used to tell me a lot when he was here if I could wake him up for work, right? And I knew that this was going to be bad for me to help him with that, because when he moved away, who was going to wake him up? But I couldn't help it. He would ask me, please, like, make sure I'm up by this time so I can eat dinner and take a shower or whatever, right? And I always like clockwork. You told me 5 o'clock. I'm here at 5 o'clock, to do stuff like that. And so it was when he was moving away, it was those things about like, who's going to ask him, did you eat today? How are you feeling? Like that care factor for him. I don't know. So it's different things that I feel like a mom thinks about, the more nurturing things I think a mom is worrying about. And you're thinking about other things like financials. There's like grown-up stuff he has to worry about. Before, he was just worried about where did he misplace his toy, but I do feel very comfortable in how you and I raise them to be self-sufficient and capable and independent. I feel very comfortable with the method we chose to do that, and like every parent has to do whatever they feel is best for their family and their children. And a lot of that is going to be influenced maybe with how you were raised, or things that you felt you were lacking when you were raised, whatever it is. But your own upbringing is going to influence how you choose to bring up your own kids, you know. And so throughout our 21 years of raising kids, right, we have come across many people who have very opposing ideas to how to do things, right? Some people have been very intrigued with how we've done things. And by no means do I feel like our method
Right.
was
It's
the
not the only.
or this is it, this is the one, you know, this is the right one. No, this is just what worked for us and for our kids, and I feel like it was a service to them what we did, you know. So the biggest thing I feel was that from when they were very, very young, we had them learn about responsibility, privilege and responsibility. Like when you're teaching your kids words, because apparently our family loves words, right? Two big words we taught them from the get-go was privilege and responsibility, and how they are together. You know, you cannot have privilege and then not be responsible with the
Right.
privilege you've been given. And you cannot get to a place of a privilege without having responsibility beforehand, you know? So as soon as they were able to understand, pick up your toys, I know it took a lot longer for toys to get picked up, but if you made the mess, you pick it up.
Right.
And we had little toddlers picking up the toys with mom there, you know, helping, but it's like you're helping me to do it as well, you know? And so
Well, it made a big difference in. I mean, even for us, once they got a little bit bigger, because we weren't the ones that were doing everything, chasing everything. We weren't, like, the frustration wasn't in, oh my goodness, like we just finished working a whole long day. Now we got to come home and do all
and
this
clean
stuff.
up. Right.
You know, like there was more of a organized chaos in
Yeah.
in the house. But
And
it was,
again, I feel like it was longer. It took a longer amount of time for us to be able to accomplish these things. In the moment, I'm saying in the moment, right? Because when you have a kid who's easily distracted, in 5 minutes, I was picking, like, I remember Mike would be picking up his room, right? Because of all the toys that he threw on the floor. He's picking up the toys, and next time I come up there, he's playing with his toys,
Right.
right? And it was fine. Like that's another thing. Like you and I had a very laid back parenting style where, you know, there was, I always was about like, what battles do I actually want to exert energy on? And them having a perfectly organized, fixed room all the time was not one of those battles for me. For some parents, that's a really big deal. And like I said, it depends on your family. It depends on what battle you want to fight, you know?
it also helped a lot the fact that that you were home.
Yes,
So
that's another
that's
issue.
a huge factor
Yes.
in being able to allow it to take a little bit longer because
and to
because
spend
you
the
were
time
home.
with that. Right. So, you
Yeah,
know,
because I mean, if it's two parents that are working, they're
Right.
out all day long, and
Yeah.
they get home, like you're gonna say, pick up your room, and you want it done in like 20 minutes. Like I don't even want to come back and say anything
Right.
else to you because I'm just exhausted.
right.
But you know, you could say pick up your room at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it'd be 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's still a process.
Right. And so, you know, like for the kids, when it was time to clean up their room, you know, it was like I was never really big on making your bed or anything. That was not my big thing, right? But they had their toys in crates, okay? And to me, it's like play with what you're going to play. But sometimes they would dump the crate over on the floor and it's everything. And sometimes I would walk by their room and it was like wow, this is excessive. You're definitely not going to play with all of this. But it's fine because you know when you're done,
You got to pick it up.
when you're
Yeah.
ready to switch over now and you want to go outside or you want to watch a movie, you've got to do this. And you don't have 20 minutes to do it. You can take all day to do it if you want to.
Right.
It's fine, as long as it gets done. And so, I think that was really important for them to own the responsibility of, I made this mess. I have to clean it up. And sometimes things were not done the way I would have done them. But to me, it was just important that they gave it their best, and that's what I feel like I stressed when I was at home with them a lot was, are you satisfied with the work that you have done? Do you feel that this was the best job that you could do? And a lot of times it was like, no, I could have done this better. Then do that. Do what you know is the best job that you can do. Always be proud of the job that you did. Even if you end up failing or doing it wrong, at least you put in that effort,
And that's translated into
Huge.
even their work, like
Yes.
their jobs. Because
They've always been outstanding employees.
Well, they come back and they're just like, do you know the idiots that I work with? Because they don't know how to do some of this basic, some of these basic elements of survival,
Well, do you remember that any time that there were mistakes that happened or things went wrong, do you remember that we used to say life lesson number 37?
Mm-hmm.
And we just would randomly give numbers
Yep.
to what just happened right now and take that moment instead of scolding or, you did it wrong. It's let's take a minute and let's learn because this is going to happen again later down the road.
I still use that philosophy today,
Really?
even with my guys. So I have one of my guys who's the
Is he the youngest?
youngest,
Okay.
and so
And youngest meaning what? He's in
22.
Okay.
So
Oh, he's like Mike's age.
Well,
I mean, Mike's gonna be 21.
Yeah.
I'm saying like he's
So
young
he's-
enough to be your son.
right, and so he he never had done landscaping before. He never worked in a landscaping company. It's all brand new.
Mm-hmm.
So we're teaching him, I'm using the guys and stuff like to teach him all the different things that we do, little by little, and he's getting better and better and better. And I constantly have to remind him, you can mess up. Grass grows back. So if you mess it up, it'll grow back. And 2 weeks ago, like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we were at one of the communities, and I had told him, hey, go up to the signs on the sides, and I need you to pull the weeds from the flowers that are up there. He thought I told him to go up there and pull all the flowers, and he completely cleared both sides of the flower beds,
No.
like to dirt.
No.
Okay. And when I come back, I finished cutting on one side on my machine, and when I come back, I just about fell off of my machine.
Oh my God.
And I go up to him and I'm like, "What are you do? What did you?" And I'm like, "I said weed the beds, not." And he's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." He's like, I wasn't 100% sure, but yesterday at the association that we were at, we pulled out all the flowers, and I thought you were telling me to do the same thing.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, no. He's like, I can plant them all back in. And I'm like, no, you can't. That's it. They're done. And he was like, I don't know what to do. I'm so sorry. And I told him, I'm like, okay, give me a minute. I need to collect my thoughts and come back and figure out what we're going to do. So I left and I went, I cut another section that I was doing to finish up. And I came back and I just went up to him and I was like, "Hey, listen, it happened."
Life lesson 58.
Okay, I was like, I've told you this a million times before. It's okay. Mistakes happen. You can, you can do something wrong and we'll fix it. And he's like, you can just take it out of my pay. And I was like, no, that's not necessary. We'll figure it out. And at the end, it worked out because we just sped up the time to when we needed to change out the flowers for the next season. But yeah, like
But the life lesson for him was what?
the life lesson for him was, hey, if you're not 100% sure, ask the question. And
Yep.
we went through that, and I
Yep.
told him, I'm like, if you understood one thing, but you'd look at it and you're like, because he told me, he's like, I was like, why is he having me pull these flowers? They're still good. The ones that we pulled the day before
They were bad.
They were
They were
bad. They were
dead.
all stemmy and like they were just not something that was going to stay. And he was like, he was pulling them and he's like, I don't know why I'm doing this. Like he knew that there was something that wasn't right with it, right?
Wow.
But he was following instructions or what he thought were the
Right,
instructions.
right.
So I was able to just kind of walk him through that and let him know, hey, no big deal. Okay, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And and it worked out. At the end, it worked out okay. But we allowed our kids to
Well, what
Make
are
mis-
what are our
Yeah,
three
the three
stables?
go make mistakes,
Take chances.
and
Get messy.
Get messy. I always say make a mess. It's get messy.
And those are the three staples that we have had, even on a little sign on our wall, permanently. Because we wanted them to know that failure is always an option because it's the only way that you learn. You've got to fail,
The problem is
Don't fail on
Yeah,
purpose.
the problem is when you fail and then you go back and do the exact same thing to fail
Yes.
again.
Yeah. Like
It's
you
make-
got to learn
make the
from it
adjustment.
and make the adjustment, but take that chance, And so that was, as the kids got older, we talked to them about, okay, you use this bathroom because they shared a bathroom, both of them, right? You use this bathroom. So you and your sister are going to switch off on days where you clean the bathroom. Okay. And that's going to be your chore that you need to complete on that day. And why? Perfectly simple. Because you use it as well. You should be responsible for the mess in here as well, And then eventually that went into dishes and it went into other things, taking turns for that, right? And so I remember that one day Mike came home and he said, Mom, do you know that all of my other friends, when I told them about chores, they do chores too, but their parents pay them. How come I don't get paid? And I was like, because you're part of the family. We're all part of this family.
Your answer was very different from mine.
Well, I was always the one to have like long, deep conversations with them about stuff.
Yeah. My answer was like, you like your room? You like the food that you eat? Do you
Of
like the
course.
fact
That's
that
like
you
a
have
typical
AC
parent
running?
answer.
Yeah.
No, but it was, I wanted to help them see, like, look, we are all part of this family, and it's a collaborative effort. We all have a special role to play in the family. And this is what you can contribute with, right? Is there anything that you are lacking or that you are in need of that we have not provided for you? Well, I want, maybe I want to buy myself Pokemon cards or something. Okay, that is fair. That's another thing that we did was that we allowed our kids to disagree with us. And I remember that there was a conversation that happened like this in front of family in which a family member said, hey,
Oh, yeah. Why do you allow them to talk back to you?
And I was like, that's not talking back. He disagreed with what we're saying. And you know what? Parents make mistakes, right? So even though we think we've got it all thought out, sometimes it helps to see it from the kid's perspective. And you don't as long as we always told them, you are allowed to disagree with us and you're allowed to ask questions as long as you are not disrespectful, you know? And it was like, but wait, why this? Or I don't understand why we have to do it like that, you know? And it was like,
And-
okay, tell me.
and
Like,
they
tell
were-
me what you're seeing and let's see what we work out. So,
And they were allowed to disagree.
yeah,
It didn't mean that it was going to change the outcome of what we had already put in place.
right, right, right,
It gave us a chance to walk through it with them.
right. And sometimes
And they
it was,
sometimes they were like,
Oh.
"Okay, I understand."
right, right.
And sometimes they were like, "You suck."
And I think that we forget that even though they're just kids, they are intelligent. They are picking up from what they see of the adults around them. They have their own thoughts as well on stuff, you know, just because they haven't lived as long as we have, or because you don't understand. Well, that's the thing, is we were also them at one point,
Yeah, but
right?
look at it now. Even, like even this morning, we spoke to Mike for a little while, and he was like, there are things that he starts talking to us about that, like he's made decisions, but there's a process in his decision, right? And I think that and a lot of that comes out of the fact that we allowed for him to disagree with what we were saying was the decision that we were making. So now he's playing both sides. He's playing both the parent and the child, and he's having these internal dialogues within himself.
But you know what?
make a
I think
decision.
that that's smart, because instead of you being hasty or reckless in a decision, you're taking the time to consider options, impact, consequences, like all of these things, which a lot of times we make very fast decisions because it's on a whim, we want it, and you're not thinking about the implications that come with it, which I think you're right, having those conversations. But, you know, when he brought up, well, you know, sometimes I want to buy myself Pokemon cards, and then that's another thing. It's not like we would just go out and it's like, oh, I want this, and we would buy it for them. That's not how it worked either. So he brought up a good point. He didn't have money to spend on stuff that he wanted to spend. Okay, I hear you. I'm going to create extra jobs. These are not chores. These are extra jobs for a set amount of money. If you and your sister want some money, these are extra jobs that you can tell me, I would like to do this. And it was jobs like, we had
Scrub the toilet with your toothbrush.
no, but like the sliding glass door, right? It was like clean the sliding glass door, right? And that was a job. Because they had to climb on chairs. They weren't even tall enough to reach it, right? And it was like front and out, right? $5. I thought that was fair. $5 to clean that, right?
I was wondering where all my money went.
Stop it. Listen. Or
From my
find
bank account.
find all of the Tupperware tops and like put them all on and fix the Tupperware drawer. Those were extra things that would have been my things to do, that I was giving them little bits here and there, right? And then it was about, okay, this is your money, but if there are sometimes I don't have extra jobs to give you, right? So it's when the extra jobs are available and you get that, and then you spend your money as you see fit, because you want to buy a drink, or you want to buy a candy, or you want to buy a toy. If it's out, it's out, you know?
Well, and I'm grateful that we did that, because now our kids, they count every penny,
They do.
and they make sure that it is not going to affect other things before they spend it.
Which is so
And it's so
amazing. It's so amazing to see that, you know. And you know, there's a lot of there's a lot of parents along the way that we've had conversations with that disagree with kids doing chores, right? Because, well, you're the parent, you're supposed to be providing for them, or you're supposed to be doing these things for them. And again, I say, listen, I don't tell other people how to raise their kids. I don't tell them how to do things. You've got to do what you feel. Same as I ask the kids. Is that the best that you feel like you could do? Is that what you feel comfortable with your children? Then do it and live happy, you know?
And
For me, I feel like when I knew that Mike was going to live on his own, I had zero concern about the fact that that boy can clean the house up to a mother-in-law's standards, okay? That he can cook for himself, that he is self-sufficient. Like, and then I feel like I'm only talking about me, but like you taught him how to change his tires, how to check stuff in his car that's not functioning.
yeah, just like it's the like the basics to be able to survive, and and like there are things that we missed because we there's no way to get it all right. You know, we're not perfect, far from it, but because we took so much time in teaching them to do some of this other stuff, this basic stuff, what is it that our kids do the moment that they are stuck with something and they need help? They pick up the phone and they're like, "Hey, Dad," or "Hey, Mom, how do you do this? Because I'm not sure how to do it." They trust the fact that we are going to take the time to teach them to do something that is needed, and that right there is huge.
A big one for me is how we taught them to get a job.
Oh yeah,
That's a huge one for me because you, especially more than I, can talk about how many times parents showed up at your place of work or called, "Can you give my child a job?"
it was nonstop.
You know?
And even now with the business, I've had people call me up and be like, "Hey, my kid's not working." Those are the words. "My kid is not working. Do you have anything for him to go work?" I'll check. But honestly, that's the one that's going to come to work. He's not going to want to be there.
Because he doesn't want to be working to begin
Exactly.
with. That's the thing, you know? And it's like, I will debone my children's chicken any day because they don't want to eat it with bone. And that's not Mike. That's only Nikki. Okay, to set the record straight. I will
I'm
debone
shaking
her
my head.
chicken even though she has two capable hands to do it. I like to do it for her. Okay? But get a job, I'm not going to go and get a job for you. That's another thing, right? We don't, when they were, when Mike was living here, right? It wasn't like you have to pay rent or you have to pay for your stuff now that you work or anything like that. It was you're responsible for your car, a privilege. Driving is a privilege. And that is your car. You're responsible for the gas, for the maintenance,
For the insurance,
and for the insurance.
for the tag.
Okay? These are the things that you're responsible
everything
for.
that you are
Right.
that you need to do to make sure that vehicle is
Because
operatable.
if you don't want a car, you don't have to. We're not saying you have to have a car. Okay? You can ride your bike, but you cannot count on mom and dad being the ones who are chauffeuring you all over town because that's not responsible. If you need to get somewhere, you need to get yourself your means to do that, you know? And so, yeah, at first, I think it was a shocker in terms of costs. Like, I have to have a job that makes this much money. So as much as I want to be home playing video games and doing nothing and watching TV, that's not how real life works. This is just a small preparation of what's coming when you leave the nest, you know, so to speak. And teaching them to go get a job was, you need to go out there and hustle. You don't just call and wait to be called back. You pester these people. You say, when can I come in for an interview?
Initiative.
Right, exactly, because that's what stands out for people, for managers.
Yeah. And then when you get the job and you're working, they're going to see that same enthusiasm because that's the type of person that you are.
Right.
And that's something that I can
like,
put
again,
my arm on the table.
Our daughter's turning 19. Our son is turning 21. And it shocks me that at both jobs that they have had, they have been asked to move into management positions at their age. that shocks me, not because I don't think that they're capable of that. I know that the employers are seeing what excellent employees they have in them, but it's the fact that it is there no one else? Is there no one else? Where's that from?
Is there no one else? Oh, Gladiator.
Ooh, so close.
Dang. Hold on.
What's close to Gladiator?
Oh, Troy.
Yes.
I had to go through it all. But when I was a manager working in retail stores, I would hire people that were older than I was into part-time positions. And when you look at their resume, that's all they've done their entire life. They're still living at home with mom and dad because they just don't have a level of that responsibility. And I'm glad that we made that a priority.
And why? It's not because it's a bad thing for you to live with mom and dad, because I know my sister lived with mom and dad for a long, long time,
It's
into her
okay
30s.
If you're doing it with, like, if Michael's living at home doing school and with a plan, you know?
Right. That's not the thing. It's the fact that mom and dad are not always going to be around. And there has to be, like, every person, I think, owes it to society to be a contributing member of society. If everybody was just incapable, irresponsible, like, what kind of world are you living in then, you know? So I think that it's a disservice to your children if I feel like it's almost a sort of a handicap if you don't teach them anything while they're growing up of responsibility or, you know, basic life lessons like you did, right? Because then when the world comes calling, this child who has fully been dependent on you, right, doesn't know how to deal with the world.
Well, they'll fail without an option of recovery.
Right.
Because they don't know.
So I think it's really kind, really, to take the time to instill some of these things in your kids, you know. And like I said, I mean, I know that there's different factors, and I think that for working parents, like if you have both parents working, I mean, it will be at a different level, but there are still going to be opportunities that will arise where you have an opportunity to just take an extra minute to teach them that life lesson, you know, or something. There's always a way for you to instill that in them. And I think, I don't know, one of the things I feel like of the many things that we've learned from being parents is just listening to your kids is huge.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot to say, and their feelings
How
and
many
their
times
ideas
have we changed our position
absolutely
because of the conversations that we've
Absolutely.
had with our kids?
Absolutely. So I definitely am huge at encouraging parents to have conversations with their kids and to listen. Mom and dad are not the final authority, if you're honest, you know, because while the decision really it rests on you as the parent, but it's not like you are the final word. Does that make sense? Like, there's always room to negotiate.
You can negotiate, yeah.
Right. And
That's a good
not
way-
not
that's a good
not
way
to
to
be
put
a
it.
tyrant, you know. So, and sometimes you do have to put your flag down and say, we are not budging from this. We used to call those
Oh,
non.
hold on. Oh my goodness.
I helped you big
I
time.
know.
N
What?
E G.
No, non-negotiables. Goodness gracious. Hallelujah.
Yes, non-negotiables.
Non-negotiables.
And those were always very clearly
But
stated
they were clear from the beginning.
from the beginning. From the beginning.
And we still allowed them to
Question us about
to
it.
question those points.
Yeah, and try to change our mind. Well, one last thing before we go, but one of those things, for example, was video games, right? This was really huge when the kids were growing up. They were literally born as technology boomed. They were there to see it. Our kids still remember VHS, cassette players, Walkmans. Like, they were the last of their kind, right? And for us, it was really important. Like, of course, that was great for me to have some quiet time while they were watching TV or playing video games. But I also didn't want it to be like their babysitter, right? So we had this thing called Animate Yourself time. So you had to, in order for you to get game time, because that's the big one, right? You had to do something that was non-electronic for a certain amount of time. So if you play Legos for an hour, you earn a half an hour of video game time. If you play outside, this is how you earn time, right? So what did they do? They were only thinking about how long I want to play video games. I want to play for 3 hours video games. So how much time do I have to play outside or draw and color and do other things, right? By the time that they would accumulate all their time, it's almost dinner time and bedtime. Maybe they would get to play an hour or two at most. And hey, if you filled up your clock and you got your 3 hours, I pay out. Okay. But that was so
But
huge
I remember there
for
were
them.
times that they would be like, all right, I'm going to play. And like, I've got 3 hours. And like 45 minutes in, they're like, all right, I'm done.
Yes, for whatever reason, But there was a video game that's called Five Nights at Freddy's that we knew was horror genre. We weren't really sure what it was about, right? And it was like we read up on a little bit of it. I didn't really like the fact that it was horror. Mike was about 12? No, he wasn't 12 yet. Was he? No.
Yeah, he was around 12.
I feel like right? He had just turned. And
It was right after the game came out, right?
yeah, I think so. I don't know. I may be wrong. So between 10 and 12, right? And he said, please, 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 can I play Five Nights at Freddy's? Other friends of his were playing Five Nights at Freddy's. And I was like, no, no, no. It's horror. I don't like horror. We don't watch horror movies in this house. I don't like it. And he was like, please, please, please.
2014. He was 14 years old.
Wow. Yikes.
Ouch.
That just shows you how little I saw him in my mind.
So he was 13.
Okay.
When it came out, he was 13.
I think it's the same time he got his BB gun.
Mm-hmm.
And so, please, please, please.
You
right?
can't play a video game, but here's a gun.
Which he never got to shoot.
Yes, we did.
No, remember? Because we didn't have anywhere to take him.
No, we did. We did.
At Paul and Kara's house only,
Okay.
whenever he would go.
But they did
anyway,
get a chance.
so anyway,
He would have loved that here.
we wanted to put our foot down on that. Yes, but I'm talking about when he first got it.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if it's years later. We wanted to put our foot down, and he said, please, I feel like your argument is just because I said so. Oof. And he was like, wow, okay. Nice one. It is. I don't have a good argument. I don't like horror video games. So you and I discussed it. We said, hold on. We'll be back. We're going to go talk. And we came back and we told him, create a presentation for us and convince us why we should let you play Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh my God. I think that boy locked himself up in his room, okay, for the whole day while he created a video, PowerPoint pretty much, of why we should let him play Five Nights at Freddy's, complete with recordings of himself with his stuffed animals pretending to be at Five Nights at Freddy's. All the reasons, all of our fears and concerns, why, like he was addressing each and every one of them. At the end of that presentation, we told him, good job. You have permission to play Five Nights at Freddy's.
We couldn't argue with him.
He did a compelling argument, and I think that it was good. I don't know. I just feel like it was good for them to even know how to argue their points, how to think for themselves, and how to push back, because I do feel like it's made them independent thinkers as well, especially in today's world where we see a lack of that. So anyway, hey, it turned into a parenting episode.
It did. For more parenting tips,
Go to some other website, not ours.
anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this episode today.
Do you have one parting dad joke to redeem yourself from the first one?
No.
What a fail. That's even
I
worse.
gotta be prepared.
You had to
Hold
open
on.
with one
Wait, talk
and
a little
close
bit.
with one.
No, I'm gonna go to my source. Hold on. Go, talk a little.
Okay. I have nothing more to say. The world is waiting to
No.
hear this dad joke. I wonder how
No.
many other people have dad jokes.
A lot of people have dad jokes.
Yeah?
Yes. Because dad jokes are a thing.
Okay, I just want to know, like, our listeners, who has dad jokes that they're like, yeah, right on, brother. Who talks like that? No one.
No, I
No
don't
one.
know.
It's me making it up.
Okay, last one. Ready? And we'll end with this. Hope you guys come back next week and listen to a new episode. Because we have one every single Tuesday.
This is the dad joke?
No. I'm gonna end with the dad joke.
End it then. We're waiting.
I know, but so
the
that we
whole
don't.
world is waiting.
But I'm
Knock,
saying
knock.
so that
Knock, knock.
who's there?
The KGB.
I don't want to open the door. The KGB will wait for no one.
We will ask the questions.
We will ask the questions. Okay, ready? Here we go. I lost it. Oh, okay. What do a tick and the Eiffel Tower have in common?
Oh my god. A tick, as in a hound dog, and a tick. A tick on a hound dog.
What? This is why you don't laugh at the jokes. Just listen.
A bloodsucker.
Okay, what does a tick and the Eiffel Tower
They both
have in
suck your
common?
blood.
No, they're both Paris sites.
Oh, that's actually not bad. That's
the love.
actually not bad, okay? I'll give you that one.
This ends this episode. Come back next week.
Where we will talk about telekinesis.
Telekinesis. Are we gonna do that? For
Oh,
real?
did I say it wrong again? Okay, never mind. Cut it before we get into this again.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank
Bye.
you for joining us.